Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to Cosmic Consciousness with Kassia. On this channel, we discuss all aspects of the ascension process. I have a variety of services that I offer to assist in your awakening journey, and you can find those listed in the description box below. Today, we're going to be talking about Taurus season, and this begins as I'm filming this on April 20th and goes until May 20th. And when we're talking about Taurus season, what we're talking about is the period of time where the sun is transiting through the sign of Taurus in Western or tropical astrology. I want to give a very happy birthday shout out to all of my fellow Taurians. And I also wanted to share something funny with you guys that I realized as I was getting ready to film this video. I realized that Taurus season begins on 4/20, which all of my cannabis smokers will probably find pretty funny. As we're going to discuss in this video, Taurus represents the sensual nature. It represents our earthly passions, desires, and pleasures. And it also represents the earth herself. It is the most physical of all the signs. Many consider cannabis to be nature's gift to humanity, natural medicine, if you will, that nature provides. And so I think it's really funny that Taurus season happens to kick off as we are celebrating cannabis smoking. So very happy 420 to anybody who is catching this on 420, which most of you probably won't since it's pretty late while I'm recording this. But I just wanted to give out some acknowledgement for that because I found it rather entertaining. So we're going to talk in this video about all of the various energies of Taurus, what we might be able to expect as we're moving through Taurus season. We're going to pull some cards, all the normal things that we do. And this is a pretty intense and powerful Taurus season that we are about to enter. We have on the 30th that new moon solar eclipse in Taurus, and there will be a video on that coming out soon. We've got the 5/5 portal as we always do during Taurus season. We have the full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio happening on the 16th. And then that is opening up the Pleiadian portal, which occurs from roughly the 16th of May until the 24th. So it goes slightly into Gemini season. But that's the period of time where we are in alignment with the Pleiades star cluster, which is located in the constellation of Taurus. So we got that beautiful Pleiadian energy taking us out of Taurus season there and leading us into Gemini season. Just a lot of explosive energies, a lot of shifts, a lot of changes, feeling a lot of really profound energies. And I'm really interested to see what the cards are going to say about all of that. But before we get into all of that, let's talk about Taurus season in general and these energies of Taurus. Taurus is the second sign in the zodiac. It is represented by the bull. It is the first or earth sign. And it is, like we said, the sign that is most associated with the physical world, as well as the physical body. Taurus energy is all about embodiment. And we've been talking on this channel quite a bit about how the energies of 2022 are working very powerfully with this Taurus-Scorpio axis. We're seeing the North Node in Taurus this year. We're also seeing that South Node in Scorpio, and all of the eclipses of 2022 along that axis. So we're really working with perfecting this axis, and we are going to be experiencing, of course, 2 of these eclipses as we are in Taurus season. So we're kicking off that first set. The second set is going to be in October, November, as we move into the fall. But we're feeling those powerful energies, and we're going to be feeling these all year, but we're going to be feeling them especially during this season. So we're working with the energies of embodiment. When we talk about the energy of being fully incarnated, we're talking about that Taurian energy. We're talking about our physical material realm and everything associated with that physical material world. Taurus rules the second house, being the second sign in the zodiac. So prosperity, material things are going to be very much on our minds. Abundance is going to be very much on our minds. Taurus craves stability and security. So we're going to be looking at how stable and secure we feel in our own lives. And absolutely, we are going to be drawn toward toward physically manifested things in order to experience that stability and that security. Taurus is a master manifester. So this is a powerful manifesting energy that we are in right now. This is also a sign that deals with self-worth and self-love. It's about what we value. And so as we move through Taurus season, what has value and importance to us is going to be most on our minds, and we are going to be ready to put the effort and the work into what's necessary. Taurus is a sign that's all about resilience. Taurus energy has fortitude. It's not famous for being the fastest sign in the zodiac, right? We came out of that with Aries season. However, it is the most steadfast of all of the energies. And so whatever we set our sights on during Taurus season, there is a longevity to the energy and to the things that we commit to during this time. But like we said, those are going to be the things that have value and importance to us. And we're really going to be noticing what doesn't seem to have value to us. Our values have been shifting and changing ever since Uranus entered Taurus quite a few years ago now. And Uranus will be in Taurus for many years into the future. So we're still undergoing that process, and we're getting another check-in point for that energy. We're also coming to understand on a deeper level how we value ourselves and how we see that self-worth and that value reflected in our outer experience. So this is a deep energy of self-love, self-acceptance, and self-appreciation. Taurus is also an energy, as we said, that deals very heavily with the senses. It is the most sensual of all the signs. And so Taurus can be famous for indulgence. And we may be feeling that desire to indulge as we move into this season. And so play around with that. Have fun with that. The goal of this energy is to really enjoy and revel in our physicality. So many starseeds have this disconnection with our physical bodies. And so Taurus season gives us a real opportunity to get anchored and grounded in our physical vessels, and to anchor and ground and connect ourselves to nature, to this planet, to see and understand ourselves truly as part of this beautiful earth, and feel ourselves connected to her in ways that we perhaps have not before. Taurus's church is nature. And so the more we can go out there, the more that we can connect. Even those of us who live in the northern hemisphere, that the weather is starting to get warmer. It's starting to get more inviting. So really take this time during Taurus season to slip off your shoes and plant your feet solidly on the earth. And really feel into what it is to be here. To be right here, right now. Fully incarnated, fully embodied, fully present. Taurus is an energy whose ultimate aim is to cultivate patience and presence, and to learn how to maintain an energy of peace even in the midst of chaos. And we can see that chaos erupting all around us in the world. So can we find that strong Taurian center within us that allows us to be that strong, stable point within all of this chaotic energy? Can we maintain our peace regardless of what else may be going on around us? And this is incredibly important, being able to cultivate this as we move forward, as well as being able to cultivate that energy of presence, being present in the now moment, which we know is the only moment that exists. All of our true power lies in the now moment. Our ability to ascend, our consciousness, lies in the now moment. The more present we can be, the better. And 2022 in general is really putting us through our paces when it comes to our ability to be present. We are, of course, working with those Scorpio energies as well, especially with these eclipses coming up. Right, so there's going to be some shadow energies coming up for integration. We have Mercury going into retrograde during Taurus season, Taurus into Gemini season. So we got that energy. We got Pluto going into retrograde during that new moon eclipse. So there's definitely shadowy energies coming up. There's definitely this desire to integrate, right? What is Scorpio energy? What are we doing with the Scorpio energy, right? We're mastering the emotions. We're integrating the shadow into the totality of the being. We're bringing it into the light. We're becoming more whole. We talk about the axis of Scorpio and Taurus as the axis of enlightenment, because this is what is achieved when we can master our physical world and our physical reality and become at home in our bodies. When we can master our emotions and our mental bodies and become at home in that space. And we can integrate that shadow into the consciousness and be fully present in this now moment. And so it's not an easy task, right? It takes time. It takes practice. All right. And so as we move through Taurus season, that's a great mantra for us. That reminder that it's all practice. You never get it perfect. You never get it done. Right? You also never get it wrong. So keep playing with it. Keep working with it. Allow yourself to have fun with it and to really explore your journey. All right, you guys. I think I've rambled on for long enough, so we're going to grab some cards. And I did want to start and pull some Black Moon astrology cards for us. It's been a while since we've used this deck. So we're going to see what these cards have to say. And we're going to pull some Star Temple oracles as well in a little bit, because that is a Pleiadian deck as we are moving toward that Pleiadian portal. That feels appropriate. And there will be a separate video, of course, on that and the eclipses and all the things. But let's get into this energy of Taurus season. Tell us what we can expect from Taurus season. What is going on? What messages, what guidance coming through for Taurus season 2022? All right, so we have Pluto transformation coming out with Venus. Love. All right. And Venus is, of course, the ruler of Taurus. Venus is most at home in the sign of Taurus. She rules both Libra and Taurus. But Taurus is her sweet spot. Taurus is where Venus's energy can really shine and really be fully embodied and fully rich. Venus would be like the feminine expression, or rather Taurus would be the feminine expression of Venus's energy. Libra would be more of the masculine expression of her energy. And of course, being the goddess of love, that Aphrodite, she is most comfortable in her feminine expression. So there's a deep transformation going on here. When it comes to our ability to love, when it comes to our understanding and definition of what love is, right? And how we experience that, how we allow ourselves to experience that, I feel like I want to say. So there's this energy of becoming more receptive to love. One thing about Taurus energy, we talked about how it's an energy of longevity. It is also a very committed energy. Taurus doesn't jump into anything. But when Taurus commits to something, Taurus fully commits. And Taurus and Scorpio are both very loyal signs. All right, so there's this energy of loyalty coming through. But there's this energy of learning how to be loyal to ourselves. And learning and understanding where we may have misplaced our loyalty before. There's this energy sometimes with people who are naturally loyal to their friends, to their partners, where that loyalty almost takes on a toxic form sometimes. And it's more about the principle of being loyal than it is about the person that we're actually being loyal to. All right. And so we tend to stand by that energy of like, stand by your man. We tend to stand by people sometimes far beyond the point where it would have been wise to actually cut our losses and move on. And so some people are going to be understanding that as well. Understanding where it is that we were practicing a principle for principle's sake, but we were actually not, but it wasn't actually working for us. It wasn't helping us, right? This energy of understanding, once again, like we said, what we value, what has importance to us, what is bearing fruit. And really, releasing that energy of being loyal simply for loyalty's sake, or anything similar to that. So there's a real transformation in the ways that we are able to give, receive, and experience love, as well as the ways that we are able to love ourselves. Then we have Aquarius coming out, I know. So there's this energy, this deep knowing rising up within us. Let's get another card to go with Aquarius here. This is also, right, Aquarius is the energy, and we got Mars coming out. All right. So we got the feminine and the masculine here with Venus and Mars. And with this Aquarian energy, I'm being drawn and I'm being reminded of the energy of Aquarius as the maverick, right? The game changer, the one who comes to do something different. So there's this real energy of doing something different when it comes to love. This can also be equated to Venus represents, of course, like we said, the things that Taurus represents. So Venus represents material wealth, abundance, prosperity, pleasure. And so there's for some of us, we're switching things up in those aspects as well, right? When it comes to the ways that we make money, the ways that we view money, the ways that we spend money, right? Investing. It's this Taurus season is very much about who and what are you investing in? And is that investment worth it? It's kind of that Seven of Pentacles sort of energy here. As we're reviewing what we've invested our time, our energy, and our hearts in. And we're seeing whether we want to continue on or whether it's time to try something new. And even with the things that are worth investing in, there is this energy of being drawn in a new direction, doing it in a different way, experimenting with things. And there's this incredible drive as we begin experiencing this transformation. There's this deep knowing growing within us. There's a lot of realizations and epiphanies that we've been feeling moving through May and deeper into Taurus season here. So there's this deeper knowing that is blossoming within us. And it's really igniting our fire, our passion, and our drive, our ability to move forward. It's making us more confident. It's making us more assertive. It's that energy of not only understanding what we're investing in and what is worth the investment, but also beginning to understand on a deeper level what battles are worth fighting for. Then we got the 4th house coming out. Roots, all right? And this would be the house ruled by Cancer, Aries on the bottom of the deck. So that Aryan energy coming in strong. And the Aries energy, we didn't experience a whole lot of during Aries season because after that first week or so, that energy, that Piscean energy of Jupiter and Neptune was so strong that it kind of drowned out and watered down the energy of Aries season. So as we begin, and I think it may actually be as we move later into May, that we start having some planets moving into the sign of Aries. And there's more of an Aries. We're feeling that Aries energy picking back up during Taurus season, sort of where it left off. And yes, I'm checking my chart a little bit here. Yeah, we have Venus and Jupiter moving into Aries during the month of May. And so we're absolutely going to be, I think, feeling more of that fire and that passion that we expected to feel, that drive, that motivation that we expected to feel. And we may have started to feel at the beginning of Aries season, but then kind of waned out a little bit. We're feeling that being ignited once again as we move into Taurus season, especially as we come into this deeper understanding of what has meaning for us. That meaning gives us this is sort of what like reignites that fire. And there is this deeper knowing that's sort of driving us forward as we move through this season, this astrological season. And with this 4th house energy, there's going to be shifts and changes for some people surrounding the home, whether this is your family structure, whether this is where you live, whether this is like family healing. But there's a lot of energies of like creating that security and stability for ourselves when it comes to our home, when it comes to that foundation, really focusing on continuing that process from April, right, of creating and establishing that firm foundation. Let's see what else here. We're putting down roots. This is also more of that energy of grounding, right? Knowing that we must cultivate strong roots first and foremost. We're so concerned with ascending, right? We're so living up in our higher chakras so much of the time. We forget the importance. We forget that in order to really utilize our upper chakras, we have to be strong and stable in our lower chakras, right? In order for a tree to reach the sky, it must first have strong roots. And so really in all the ways that this root energy, it's relevant in so many different ways to us. We have Sagittarius IC. Yeah, so there's this deep level of like we said, things being revealed to us. It also feels to me like for some people, it's going to be like a transformation right before your eyes. Like somebody, when it comes to relationships, specifically, I like feel this energy for somebody or for a group of people here where it's like the way you see somebody else is transformed. And this feels very much like the person that you never noticed before. Like if somebody was looking for love, the person that was meant for you or that was most suited to you was right under your nose the entire time, but you didn't see them. And then all of a sudden, your vision of them is transformed. And it's because something within you was transformed. There was something that was blocking your ability to see this person, to see the value, right, of this individual. And now you're able to see that because you see it more in yourself, possibly, because you're more open to receiving that love, whatever it is. It's like your vision of somebody is transformed. And for all of us, it's our vision and our perspective really receiving a transformation. As we move through and into the Pluto retrograde, the Mercury retrograde, all of this through these eclipses. Lots of powerful change, lots of insight being gained. And then a way forward, a path forward being revealed. We have the South Node energy coming up here. So it's like a deeper understanding as well of the past, of the circumstances of the past, why things happened the way that they happened, what you learned, really extracting. Remember, Sagittarius is all about wisdom. So really extracting the wisdom from the experiences. And beginning to see your past, I feel for some people too, this is an energy of finally being able to fully release the past because you see it in a different light. And that allows you to release the attachment to it. It's like finally being able to make sense of something or get closure. And this doesn't necessarily mean that, like, say if there's a person involved, that you go back to the person and you get direct closure from them, but there's like emotional and energetic closure within ourselves. Seeing, understanding cycles. There are major cycles that want to close out, major energies that want to close out with that lunar eclipse on the 16th, right? So there's like that opening that's created with the new moon eclipse. The insight that's gained, the wisdom that's gained, that aha moment for some, if you will. And then we're able to release once that Scorpio eclipse comes in. And this is the energy during this Taurus season, you guys. It's move or be moved. All right, and we know that Taurus energy can sometimes be famous for digging its heels in, right? Taurus energy doesn't like to be moved if it doesn't want to move. All right, but there's an energy. What does this card say? Destiny. There is an energy of destiny in the air. All right, and so doors are going to be opening and doors are going to be slamming shut. And the more we resist, the more painful it's going to be. It doesn't actually have to be painful at all, but that resistance will make it so. All right, helping you along the path to your happy destiny are friends and acquaintances. New contacts I'm feeling for people. This 11th house, this is all about friends, networking, our dreams and aspirations, right? So there's going to be destined and fated meetings and encounters with people who are going to assist us in continuing to move forward along our path. That path of destiny opening wide before us. So, yeah, it's the people, those souls that we recognize instantly right? Because we've known them before. In the when we work with the galactic calendar, they call them like our companions of destiny, right? Drawing those companions in. Trusting where they're going to lead you. The fire that they ignite within you. And for some, I'm feeling almost like a Six of Cups kind of vibe. Like people coming back. Souls being reunited. And this could be in this lifetime or others. Remember, when we're reunited with a soul, it doesn't necessarily mean we know them from this lifetime. We could know them from others as well. We have the Neptune card coming out with the air element. This is our spirit. We got Cancer on the bottom of the deck here with the water element. Oh, perfect, because I thought that was the water card originally. And then it was the air. All right. So this is the energy of our souls communicating with us, our higher selves. We're going to be receiving so much communication from our higher selves. And so we want to really tap into that energy. All right. We want to pay attention to how our soul is communicating with us, how our higher selves, how our intuition is communicating with us. We want to utilize our instincts. We want to utilize all aspects of the self. All of our feelers, if you will. Because there is going to be, if you are seeking guidance, that guidance is coming through. You just have to be open to receiving it. Open to hearing, right? You got to take that time out to listen, right? You know what they say, prayer is talking to God. Meditation is listening for the answers. A lot of us, we talk and talk and talk, but we don't take that time to listen. And listening doesn't just mean meditation. It means paying attention to the signs of synchronicities, paying attention to all the different ways that our spirit communicates with us. Those little whispers. There's a deep level of peace that we can achieve, right? Remember, Taurus season ultimate goals, peace, stability, presence. The more present we become, the more powerfully the guidance comes through. And we are going to be seeking this guidance. Because like we said, there's going to be a lot of shifts and a lot of changes this Taurus season. It's so ironic that Taurus starts in a 4 and ends in a 5 month. Where that 5 energy is all about the change, man. It's like that Gemini energy at the end of the month. That's really 5 energy that's comfortable as a 5, right? That mutable, that changeable energy. Taurus energy is not always so comfortable with that change and shift. And that's why I'm feeling too for people with all of these changes that are happening. With the curveballs that we may be getting thrown over Taurus season, make sure that you're communicating with others in your life as well. That you're making sure you are, you know and understand what your needs are, and you know how to communicate and ask for what it is that you need. As we move toward Mercury retrograde, communication is going to be challenging at times. We want to take great care that we are saying what we mean. Right? And that we're speaking the things that need to be said. Some things need to be said, some things don't. Right? Or there is a time and a place when things are best spoken. And so we want to pay attention to that sense of timing. And we also want to realize that, like, with this Mercury retrograde, we're in the entering into the shadow, and then the retrograde it begins on May 10th. I think it's May 10th. I have it written down, but let's see. Yeah, May 10th to June 2nd. All right. We also have a tendency not only to sometimes misspeak, but to misinterpret what other people are saying. So make sure that your communication isn't garbled. Make sure that you are speaking what you mean, and that you're hearing what another person is saying. One trick that they teach us when we're learning constructive communication is when somebody says something to you, to repeat back to them what you hear them saying, so that they can either confirm or correct if the way that you are processing and perceiving what they said is not lining up with what they truly meant. And so even taking it back to some of those basics sometimes if we need to. Because there's a lot of, it's like the communication with our souls, if we're able to take that time to get quiet and listen, is on point. But our communication with others is sometimes struggling. And there's a lot of emotionality. All right, our emotions are a great sensory tool. However, we don't want to end up in a state of emotional reactivity, or a state where we're allowing ourselves to be guided solely by our emotions. Because that can get us into some hot water right there. Any final energies here? Taurus season. We got the moon soul coming out. And we got the North Node, life's purpose, with the 9th house faith on the bottom of the deck, you guys. All right, so our soul is guiding us toward our purpose. Allow yourself to be led. Understand that in this energy, if you do not allow yourself to be led, you may be dragged. All right. And we know it's much more pleasant when we go willingly. Your soul already set this all up before you got here. All right. It knows best. Trust, believe me, I am following my soul's promptings and callings right now, and none of it makes sense to me. It appears to be the complete opposite of everything that I thought I wanted, but at the same time, I know deep within myself that my soul is calling me forward along a certain trajectory. So I'm trusting my soul. I'm surrendering completely to my soul, knowing that my soul knows what's best for me. All right, and so some of you may be in this position as well, where your life is taking a turn that you did not expect. You're being called and led down an avenue that you thought you would never explore, all right, or that seems completely foreign to you or doesn't make any sense. And you want to resist because your mental mind, your ego, right, your earthly self is not really wanting to go there, but you can feel your soul calling you forward. And this isn't going to be you're not going to be confused about this. If your soul is calling you forward towards your destiny, towards your purpose, down the path of your Dharma, you'll know it. There's no mistaking that energy. You may not like it, right? You may not understand it, but you'll know it. All right. And so if you're not resonating with that absolute knowing, then I would discount what I'm saying there. All right, but some of us, we are really being called by our souls to get far outside of our comfort zone. And this is a higher octave of Taurus energy to be able to do this. This is where Taurus has to take some of that energy of Scorpio, that energy of transmutation, of regeneration. Call upon that energy of its counterpart, its polarity, in order to bring itself into balance, because Taurus energy is not really so much into that. I can't remember what I just said. I'm having one of those brain moments. But whatever I was talking about, it's leading into that resistance kind of an energy. We don't want to be resistant right now. We don't want to live in the comfort zone, even though the lower vibration of Taurus energy prefers the comfort zone. We're being called out of the comfort zone by our soul. Yeah. And so we're being asked to have faith. We're being asked to trust where we're being led. Yeah, and then I love this because we have the Gemini and the first house, right? And the first house is the body. So we got the mind and the body here being centered, being present both in the mind and the body. Following the wisdom of both our minds and our bodies. Right? Our body, this is something that Taurus energy also teaches us. Our body has infinite wisdom to share with us. So listen to it. Allow your body to speak and communicate to you. Allow your intuition to speak with you through your body. And then under that, also perfect Mercury retrograde, reinvention. All right, you guys, let's see. Yes, we said we were going to do a couple Star Temple oracles, so we'll pull a couple of these. Clear. What guidance do we have for Taurus season? Taurus season 2022. What guidance from the Pleiades? Okay. We have coming out here the lapis lazuli star. My inner vision guides me to my higher purpose. All right. Extra confirmation right there. It's like all aspects of yourself. Your soul is speaking to you through all aspects as we move through this energy. It's speaking to you through your body. It's speaking to you through your mind. It's speaking to you through your intuition. Just everywhere. Signs, synchronicities. You are being guided. All right. But the deepest and the most profound guidance that we cannot mistake comes when we tap and tune in. And then we have the temple home. I no longer search outside of myself for home. And so this is an energy, right? The lower vibrations of Taurus energy oftentimes are seeking things outside of the self to make the self feel whole, especially when we lack that self-worth, right? When we lack that self-value. And so this is an energy of really coming home to ourselves, the temple, right? Honoring our body as our temple is what the temple is making me think of right now. But it's like also remembering that the temple is in here, right? So many people, they go to a church to worship. They worship something outside of themselves. They don't realize that they don't have to go anywhere because it's right here. They don't have to look out there for guidance, for love, for the divine. It all exists within here. And so we're really coming home to our inner temple. And I feel like some people are being guided and led home too when it comes to a place or a location. That energy just keeps coming through. I'm feeling that Four of Wands energy. But it's definitely that energy of a place or a location that is calling you home. But it's more than that. It's more than the place. As you connect with your higher purpose, you automatically feel at home. Right? Because when we connect with our higher purpose, we're connecting with our soul self. We're connecting with our infinite selves. We're healing that wounded, that illusion of separation. And so we feel at home when we are resonating with our soul purpose, when we're following our soul purpose. And then I love this for us too on the bottom of the deck. The ruby star flow. I embody my authentic and sensual essence. So really tapping into and honoring our physical vessels, exploring our physical vessels, really just having fun with them and enjoying them, enjoying everything that it means to be fully embodied and incarnated. There are things we get to do in these physical bodies that we cannot do otherwise. All right. And that's part of what we come down here for. We want to make sure we don't get so trapped in that energy that we become hedonistic, right? That we begin to use it as an escape, but absolutely indulge in your senses. All right. Indulge in that enjoyment of all that this physical embodiment has to offer. Really reconnecting with our own sense of sensuality and sexuality. The Taurus Scorpio axis is all about that sensual energy as well. So really reclaiming that, continuing that work of reclaiming our sensual and our sexual essence and power as well. And utilizing that, unleashing that as a creative power. All right, we'll do one more, and then I think we're going to do I want to do an Isis oracle for you guys to close. And what do we have coming out here? We have the Sacred Orchard. Co-create. My abundance mindset attracts endless blessings. Stay open. Stay in that mindset of abundance. All right. That energy of plenty. Taurus season will really show us, especially with all the shadow energy coming up with the eclipses and everything, with this axis that we're working with, where we have fears and limiting beliefs related to our abundance mindset, especially. And of course, our value system and how we value ourselves. But this abundance mindset, very, very much so. And if you guys want to do any one-on-one work with this or anything else, please reach out to me. My information's in the description box below. But we want to stay in this attitude of gratitude. We want to stay in this attitude of plenty, this attitude of abundance. We want to really tap into that flow. And I talked about this. I don't know when it's going to be released, but Pete and I on the Chosen 144, we just recorded a video for the May energies, and we talked about the energies of tapping into that abundance mindset, tapping into that vibration of synchronicity, where we're manifesting on a level, on like a super conscious level almost. So if you guys want more information about how to tap into this abundance mindset and this abundance energy as we move through Taurus season, check out that video for the May energy update when it comes out on the Chosen 144. But we just want to stay in that vibration. We want to, anywhere where we notice ourselves reverting back to an energy of lack or scarcity, we want to reroute that. We want to reprogram that. We want to be in this energy, continue to be grateful for everything that we have, to appreciate everything that we have. And that will really help us to be in this energy of creating more of that abundance. Know that this is a powerful creation portal as well, right? We talked about how Taurus is the master manifester. And so pay attention. Notice what it is that you are creating. Notice how when you lift your vibration, when you lift your, I don't want to say raise your expectations, because that isn't always a beneficial thing, but you raise your standards and you expect the best. Right? Instead of expecting the worst or trying to anticipate the worst, expect the best. Play around with that energy. Play around with the different ways that you can shift your mindset in order to attract and align yourself with more abundance. And whatever that means to you. Abundance doesn't have to mean money. All right? And then we have the Mystic on the bottom of the deck. Magic. I weave my magic and surrender to the universe. Right? So create that. Play around in that fantasy for a little while. Roll it around in your mind, right? In that sensual kind of energy. All right? Enjoy it. Play with it. And then let your manifestation go. And just as we move through Taurus season, stay anchored in your bliss. Stay anchored in your joy, in your enjoyment of life. And watch as you attract more things to enjoy. That'll help you tap into and stay in that vibration that's attracting all the magic to you. All right, but don't attach. Work on not, I don't want to say focus on not attaching, because the energy of focus in that context has like an attachment quality to it. But really just practice this energy of non-attachment. Practice this energy of being so fulfilled in the present moment that yes, you're dreaming up more things that you would enjoy having, right? But you're still fully satisfied with what you have right now. That's part of how we release attachment to the things we're wanting to manifest. If I'm fully satisfied right now, yes, there are more things that I'm wanting to play with and bring in, but I don't need them because I already have enough. That's the energy that we want to cultivate. All right. Let's see what the Isis Oracle has to say for this Taurus season. Clear. Guidance as we move through Taurus season. And let me know in the comments below who is a May Taurus here and who is an April Taurus. All right, where were you if you are having a beautiful Taurian birthday during this season? Where are you on that spectrum? I am actually during the Pleiadian portal on May 17th, so I'm moving toward the Gemini energy, but still very much the Taurus energy. 26 degrees of Taurus, actually, which is a Taurian degree, so get a lot of that energy. With a slight hint of that Gemini flavor, right? All right, what do we have coming out here? Goddess of 10,000 names, Isis, endless emanations of the priestess. And notice those eyes in the background there. And so right off the bat, right, this card, this energy is reminding us we are a million things in one. So don't limit yourself to one expression of who you are. Know that there are infinite expressions of you. Just as we are all infinite expressions of the Eternal One, there are infinite expressions of how we experience and embody our own energy. So don't allow yourself to don't put yourself in a box, right? This energy is all about releasing any narrow parameters that we've created for ourselves as far as who we believe ourselves to be, how we know and experience ourselves. We're being asked to open up to experiencing ourselves in a whole new way. All right, let's see if I can find this here. Here we go. So this card says, Isis with many names, forms, associations, and expressions is referred to as the goddess of 10,000 names. A name holds power. It defines and energizes or limits. The names, faces, and roles that you play are just one part of your being, yet you exist beyond them, beloved initiate, as a vast being. You are currently realizing that you are not limited by previous identities you held. Instead, you are becoming more of your whole self. Enjoy the uncovering of even more of you. Just like the Lady Isis, you are a multifaceted, multidimensional being. It is most helpful at this phase in your path that you learn not to attach to roles or identities that may have once held great importance for you or others relating to you. It does not mean that you must cease to relate to that name or role. More that you are realizing it is only a part of you and there is even more of you wishing to express itself now. The roles you are needing to move beyond might be mother, executive, healer, good person, strong person, always in control, daughter, teacher, or guru, grandmother, and so on. There is nothing wrong with these roles, and you may still express part of your vast self through such roles, but you are at a significant point in your inner development, where you are learning that these are not who you are, but simply expressions of the eternal endless self, uncontainable by any human description. It can be tricky to avoid getting stuck in roles that others prescribe for you or expect of you. And yet your self-definition will become wider and your experience of yourself will be more real and fulfilling if you are open to discovering more of you beyond the person you have considered yourself to be up until now. For this to happen, you must be willing to allow the many and varied faces of your being, your 10,000 names, to begin to emerge in your awareness, to realize that you are more than you currently imagine yourself to be. This opens up tremendous freedom of choice and possibility in life. This can be both exhilarating and terrifying. Trust that the self is, in essence, divine love, and there is great joy in its unfoldment, even if there are challenges to let go. Even if there are challenges to let go of the fears that have held us trapped in certain roles and identities at times. The call to let go of the old identity is very strong, leading you to this oracle at this time, when a new, more whole, fulfilling, and truthful sense of identity awaits you. Any fear or struggle that you go through to allow this to happen, beloved, will be spiritually repaid to you, multiplied in so many ways. There is nothing to lose except old limitations and so much wonder and joy to be gained. This oracle also indicates that there is a spiritual name waiting for you on the inner planes. The name may come from various spiritual traditions as the name of a deity or sacred mantra, or it could be an actual name that you can sound out and use in meditation or sacred temple activities with spiritual groups. That name may also simply be a note, an inner awareness of a sound, and it can be sourced by going into your heart. almost felt more than heard or spoken. This spiritual name is coming to help you to deepen your connection with yourself. Like any other identity, it is just a representation for a time. You do not need to pack up your old life in search of an entirely new one, unless your heart deeply guides you with peace and neutrality, that this is what is needed for your spiritual growth. And notice how the word neutrality came up. More often than not, what the spiritual name offers you is a chance to begin to loosen your grip on your old identity, not to throw it away completely, and sense yourself in a more expanded light. Whether you consciously and easily receive your spiritual name in meditation or dream state, or through a healing or conversation with another initiate, or whether it remains a mystery, trust that it is in your heart calling you to recognize more of your true self. If you already have a spiritual name, this oracle is guidance not to become too attached to that identity either. Names are ways of knowing a being, but they are not the being. This can be hard for us to take on board in a culture that loves to label and therefore understand everything. Understand, right? For the initiate, however, accepting mystery is part of the spiritual journey into the divine self. If you have felt constrained by a role name or identity and are wishing for assistance in growing beyond it, or if you have sensed a new role or identity calling you into greater expression and would love some divine help in that growth, this oracle indicates the help that you need is already within you, urging your growth from within, right? The temple within, just like we were talking about. Yeah. And so it's this understanding as well, right? As it said, we don't have to, as we're growing into who we're becoming, we don't have to throw everything out, right? We let go of what's not working. We let go of what's not resonating. And we welcome in what wants to come in, right? We welcome in what does. So a lot of shifts, a lot of changes on a deep level, right? A lot of changes with the very foundation, the bedrock of ourselves. Our identity, who we view ourselves to be, right? And just really understanding and keeping in the forefront of our minds that all of those labels, all of those stories limit us. We are beings of unlimited and vast potential and greatness. So welcome in more of that unknown, right? More of that mystery, more of the beautiful ancient mystery that is you. All right, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this reading, and I hope that you have a fabulous Taurus season. I will, of course, talk to you guys many times as we move throughout this season. And if you're finding this after Taurus season is over, if it's resonating, it's resonating. A lot of these messages are timeless. We're tapping into a certain energy trajectory, but you could be experiencing this at any time. So take everything as it resonates, when it resonates, and trust that you're guided to it when you're meant to find it. All right, I love you guys. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, drop a comment down below, and let me know. As I let you know, my email is down below with a list of the different services that I offer. If you want to reach out to me, if you're drawn to my energy, if you want to do any one-on-one work with me, it is my honor and my privilege to serve you in that way and in all ways. There are links down below if you feel moved to donate to the channel. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I love you guys. I appreciate you so very, very, very much.